Hey Internet, it's RJ. Welcome back. Thanks for tuning into the show today. Now, today's episode, we're focusing on our military personnel out there because, we're going to show you how that you can get all these credit cards that we love to talk about that come with high annual fees, all for the price of $3.99 just by doing your regular job and, defending patriotism. So, of course, that sounds interesting to you, then go ahead, press the subscribe button, and let's get to work. So when it comes down to it, one of the main benefits of being in the military, I don't know that they actually put this on the brochure, but if you're watching this, we're going to call it a benefit, is that there are a few laws in place that hold financial institutions accountable for at least reducing financial burdens, keeping fees in check, or at least waiving them altogether, potentially, for our active duty folks out there. Obviously, you have much bigger things going on than, to be worried about all these fees and everything, and we know how banks can be. Now, there's two rules actually, we're going to take a look at them. Now, one of them sort of is extended out to credit cards. As you'll see, credit card annual fees aren't necessarily counted in the rule, like written out explicitly, but again, some issuers have kind of brought this into play here, just to be nice and figure why not. So first of all, what are these two rules? Well, there's two of them. I'll link something down below if you want more details. I'm not going to go into a ton of detail. You just need to be aware of them. So the first one is the Service Member Civil Relief Act. So this is meant to provide relief from financial burdens. So this can do things like capping interest charges, interest rates, things like that. Military Lending Act is the second one, and that's the one that I think brings in the credit card piece. Now, this was introduced in 2006. This covers a wide range of credit products and the associated fees. So again, we're going to talk about credit cards specifically. So in case you are new here, there are plenty of no annual fee credit cards, right? But an annual fee is basically a fee that you pay annually to the credit card issuer to have that card, and generally some other benefits come with it. Now, why this ends up important is because, you might be a credit cards rewards person and in the military, that's also fine. Or because you're, going overseas and all these crazy places, you might want one of these cards because a lot of these cards are one, travel cards, and number two, they have no foreign transaction fees that can also help out, majorly when all your spending is overseas. Now, of course, there are institutions like a Navy Federal Credit Union or a PenFed that, offer no annual fee cards with no foreign transaction fees at this target demographic. But again, why limit yourself if you don't have to? You can get these all for free. Now, a lot of these cards, at the top end, Amex Platinum can be $700, Sapphire Reserve $550, Venture X $395, Gold Card $250, you name it. A lot of these annual fees can get pretty hefty, right? So that's kind of the things. And one, of course, you want to make sure you're still getting value from the card, but you don't necessarily have to be overly worried about it because when we said with the MLA law, this covers a wide range of financial products. So from what I understand, it doesn't specifically call out credit card annual fees. But from research here, what I've seen is that a lot of banks have said, hey, you know what? Credit card fees, there's fees on credit cards, right? Then annual fees are in their own right a fee. Let's simply bring it all underneath the umbrella here, and so we will waive those all together, which means if, we'll go over qualifications in a second, but if you were one of these people, then you could get all these credit cards and not pay a single annual fee, which then it becomes really huge because, again, a lot of these cards, travel cards, come with a ton of different credits and coupons to help, get the value back that you pay in the annual fee every year, which is doable, but then you don't have to worry about it at all. Even if the fee is $700, you use 2 or 3 of the credits, doesn't matter because you only pay the annual fee, which is fantastic. So that's kind of how the credit card plays into this. So let's take a look at who's actually covered. So when we come to coverage, again, active duty in all military branches, reserve on federal active duty, National Guard on Title 32 orders that exceed 30 days, Coast Guard on Title 14 orders that exceed 30 days. And of course, dependents is the other one. So player 2, husband, wife, someone that you're married to, kids under 21 or kids under 23 if a full-time student. So this comes to us from the Points Guy. I will also shout out another blog. There's Military Money Manual. That's I don't know him, but he's a pretty good blog post that I'll link down below that goes into a full overview of this. So that's even better because, again, obviously you're going to know if you are covered because it's your job. But player 1, player 2, even better. So this means you could, in theory, get yourself a credit card, your wife a credit card, what have you, and you could double up. So at this point, you might just want to become a rewards hunter because now you can earn a ton of rewards points all for no annual fees, which is really huge. I know we've had some military financial credit card YouTubers in the past, like a Jake Bro, for example, who was in the military at one point. I think he had like 4 or 5 different platinum cards, right? Because again, why not? So that's something to consider as well. There are other reasons why you may want to get, your child on a platinum card, for example. Add them as an authorized user. They can still get the benefits of the card as well for at least some time. So we won't go too much into it, right? Because again, that's kind of out of the scope of the video. But again, because we might have folks coming to this video who aren't necessarily in the credit card niche of YouTube all the time, did want to throw out some use cases. So there's that. Now, how do you actually get the benefits? Well, from what I understand, again, if you're the primary card holder, there's a database that does exist out there. It's supposed to auto feed to these banks, right? So they should know as soon as you sign up, because again, you're gonna have a social security number when you apply for these products and everything, and it should automatically be taken care of. I've read a few data points out there, enlisted folks saying, "Yep, I signed up and I didn't have to do anything else." However, in case that doesn't work, because it's still kind of the government, or in case you want to bring in a player two or a kid, somebody like that, what can you do for documentation? Well, here you have it. So getting your benefits, again, we talked about the database. Now, you can verify your eligibility at either one of those sites. We'll link them down below for you. However, dependents will only be under the MLA searches. So that's probably the easiest one. And then you could submit documentation if needed, right? So again, this is from the points guy. I'm grabbing these screenshots, but this is, the documentation that you'd be getting. So pursuant to the Military Lending Act, MLA. Again, we've just kind of blocked everything out. But again, it's just going to speak to your eligibility. And if they need something, then you could submit that and you should be fine. Now, what they're going to send back to you is 2 potential options. So again, these are from Chase, still from the points guy. So you can see the first letter here, we applied military benefits to your credit card account. So you can go through, they reference MLA. So we approved your credit card account for the benefits under Military Lending Act and Chase Policy Collective, referred to as MLA. Of course, we won't charge you applicable fees other than late fees and non-sufficient funds fees, and your military annual percentage rate won't be more than 36%. If you have promotional rate, you'll keep it. So there you go. They're just confirming, which you still have to basically pay the bill, right? You can't get out of that. However, if you were denied for whatever reason, then they'll send you another letter that says, hey, this account is not eligible for the benefits at this time. And of course, basically they're just going on to tell you why based on their policy and everything. So that's kind of the documentation you can get if you need to do this. Now, overall, again, it should be pretty straightforward. It should happen auto-magically, but if it doesn't, you should be fine. I would also imagine you have someone in the military, you could probably ask about this, and they could get you what you needed. I would imagine, I don't know for sure, though. You can let us know down below if that is you. So overall, I think this is a pretty good benefit that everyone should take advantage of, if they're serving and if they qualify. Because, again, maybe you want to look at some other videos on the homepage, but there are a ton of rewards and benefits to be had playing this game. But one of the biggest hangups that most of us go through is those annual fees. But to have those waived, I would look at it, if you're interested, is building a strategy around hitting those cards now. Generally we end up telling folks to save the higher, more expensive cards to the back end. But I mean, you'll know you best, right? If you're doing a stint in the military, what have you, you plan to leave and do other things, cool. But if you're a lifer, that's a little bit different. But if you're just doing a stint, then I would hit those cards early while you can. Hit all of them, get all the bonuses that you can for free. You're going to make a ton of money that way. And then, of course, you'll figure out if you like these cards along the way and they're worth keeping after you retire or whatnot. Now, of course, I don't know how often the database is updated, right? So I don't know when you retire, if it's like an instant turn off or what have you. A lot of times like you'll get discounts from like your cell phone from your employer. A lot of those discounts I've kept for many, many years after the fact. I'm going to imagine this database is updated a little bit more, but again, not 100% sure on that. But either way, there you go. Now you can make sure you get all your benefits and all your free credit cards and earn all the points you can. So, of course, if you like this one, drop me a thumbs up down below. If you found it particularly interesting, consider subscribing to the channel, as we're posting content just like this every week and right back here every Sunday with all the news you can use in the week that was in credit and finance. Again, question for all you guys out there. If you've used these benefits before, sound off down below. Let us know what the process is and let us know what your strategy was going into it. How many platinum cards did you get? How many annual fees did you actually dodge? I'd love to hear your experiences on this. Anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this one. As always, thank you so much for watching, and talk to you very soon in the next one.